Wow, 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 wow. Ladies and gentlemen, Gungans and droids, we got some changes. 2 galactic challenges. Well, what do you know, people? Come on in. A couple of big changes that's happened with galactic challenges. No communication that gave us this forewarning that this was going to happen. But at the same time, even though there were some positive changes happen, we got bamboozled in other ways, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to make sure you guys know all about it, see what has improved from the past. And the main thing that has improved immediately for galactic challenges is the lack of a relic and gear gate, ladies and gentlemen. By far, probably my biggest complaint was the relic and gear gate, because it defeats the purpose of what a feat was supposed to be, meaning you overcame some sort of challenge. Wailing hard, gearing up something is not a feat, ladies and gentlemen. Let's hop over to the game right now. Tatooine Separatist Galactic Challenge. I don't know if we're still in exhibition. Again, there was no communication what's going on with the next batch of galactic challenges because we completed our first month. I'm assuming we're still in exhibition, and I'm assuming things could still change here, especially with their rewards. I see some people saying their rewards improved. I'm going to show you from the past that in a lot of ways the rewards got worse. However, I will say if you're someone that only can complete tiers 4 and tier 5, you're going to see the biggest improvement. And I'm glad that's the case, because honestly, tier 6 and 7, that's a lot more challenging for super endgame, super whale, super krakens. But tier 4 and 5 is where I suspect most people are going to land. But check out this first. The fact that we no longer have a relic gate. Beautiful. I'm glad that was like the biggest thing. I'm not a fan of the game mode still in general. We'll talk about that in a moment. But just in terms of defeats, timing, and rewards, those are the 3 initial complaints that just have to be addressed if this is going to be thrown at us every single time. The fact that no longer it's required to have Relic 5 Resistance, Relic 5 Sith, Relic 5 Old Republic is fantastic, because I myself, and I saw many others, they completed Galactic Challenge Tier 7 with less than Relic 5, and they didn't get the rewards. That is extremely counterintuitive. Glad they pulled that out. In some ways, there still is going to be an arbitrary gear gate associated with the best rewards. The best rewards are still going to be tied to a full squad of said faction. Resistance is the one that's going on today here. So there still is going to be a soft sort of barrier. But still, if you, let's say you had 4 Relic 5 Resistance and then 1 Gear 11, Gear 10 or whatever, and you win, you're still going to get the rewards, which is great in that regard. But as we see of tier 5 and tier 4, I'm going to show you the rewards in the past. In my opinion, these got the better improvements in rewards. Assuming you cannot get the tier 6 and 7, these got a lot better. We got 2 Omegas now and some Mark 5 stun guns. Fantastic down there. And you're starting to see Chirotech at the lower levels and golden eyeballs. And pretty much from there, I'd say things got worse for the tier 6 and tier 7. The total reward pool actually got smaller, it seems like. I don't know if Capital Games, you know that little game where you hide the ball under the cup and you shuffle it around, and the monkey thinks it's in one cup and it's not there, and the person picks up the cup with the ball and the monkey starts clapping thinking something magical happened. I feel like there's a degree of that going on here, because in a way the rewards got actually a lot worse. There's less Chirotech, there's less Gear 12 pieces, it seems like. And furthermore, I see people thinking the crystals increased. There was no change in crystals. So it seems like the total reward pool has changed, people. So here we go. Let's actually compare this to this tier. Let's look at tier 7 first. So before, in total, there was about 14 Chirotech. Now there's only about 8 associated. You get 2, 2, and then you get 2, 2. So only 8 Chirotech going on here, and only 2 of these Gear 12 finisher pieces right here, where before there was a lot more. And let me show you what was going on in the past, so that way you guys can see what the change was, because it's important to see the before and after difference. So we're going to hop over to the video we made when Galactic Challenges first came out. We gave our initial review. We talked about all these problems, the gear gates, the rewards, and the timing. The timing, I hope they moved to 2 days. 3 days is still a little too long for a game mode that only takes like 20 minutes to beat or so. But here we go. As we see down here, 100 crystals, which is the same as what we have now. Way more Gear 12 Gear 12 finisher pieces. 10 Chirotechs right there, just for completing basically what is now the full team of the Resistance or Sith, for example. So right here in tier 7, we'll hop back over so you can see the before and after difference. This was before, and now we're gonna hop back over here. Here is the after. You can see there definitely is a bit more of a difference there. However, let's point this out. Now we have at least better quality stuff in regards to the other feats. So you get a little bit of Carbontes. I personally, if you're completing tier 7, I would think the Chirotech is more valued than Carbontes, because at least we have a challenge, a weekly challenge, or actually a daily challenge that happens 3 times a week to get these, and then stun cuffs, which is nice. Whereas before, let's make sure we point out the pros here. Whereas before, as we see here, the other rewards were pretty, like, these are pretty straight up trash right there. So they improved that in a sense. The top tier rewards are the ones that got screwed up the most here. Now we're gonna fast forward a little bit. Let's try to find the tier 6 rewards here, and I believe this is tier 6. Let's back up for a second. Yes, so now we're in tier 6, and you're gonna see a big change as well. 75 crystals, then we have 4 gear 12 finisher pieces, 6 Chirotech right here. And what is the before and after difference? Take a mental screenshot of this. We're gonna hop over here, and as we see, no change in crystals. Actually, a little bit less than crystals at this tier. We have 50 crystals down here. They kind of split it. The crystals, there were no change. You're still getting 175 crystals if you can complete the top 3 challenges. So they kind of broke up the crystals a bit more so you can get some in tier 5, whereas before there weren't any. But as we see, only 2 gear 12 finisher pieces right here. But again, let's point this out, and there's no Chirotech, it seems like, in this tier. So they pulled out the Chirotech here, and stun gun or stun cuffs, which is better, I suppose, than what was there before. And these pieces, they're needed. They're not as needed, but they're more useful than what they had, for example, with the flawless victory over here. So far, you're seeing that. That's why I pointed out the pros. If you're doing tier 5 and tier 6, you're going to see the biggest change. Now, I think as well, we hopped over to tier 5 here. There we go. So here's the tier 5 rewards from our initial Galactic challenges here. And the rewards were just pretty bad. And that's why I pointed out, if you're someone that's only doing the mid section of Galactic challenges, you're going to get the best boost. The people that are doing tier 6 and tier 7 and just the total reward pool in general seems to have deteriorated in those aspects. So let's just point it out again. We have 3 Mark 5 stun guns. Again, the rewards are pretty bad, and just 2 Carbantes, it seemed like. And real quick, we have this right over here. Currently, for tier 5, you get 4 Chirotech, 4 golden eyeballs. These are useful. Like these right here, those are helpful. And this is just, it's useful. I don't need them, but for people that are completing tier 5, you're probably gonna need those the most. Now, I think in the video that I only stopped at tiers 7, 6, and 5, but as you can see, these rewards are not nearly as good as before. One of the complaints was rewards, and they fixed it in some regards, as we pointed out, at least in general across the board. There's nothing that like makes you say, oh, this is horrible. But when you step back and look at the bigger picture and not be the monkey that just claps when the ball is being moved around in the cup, you notice that the total reward pool seems to have diminished or stayed the same in some regards. It's more of that mid-grade gear that seems to be a bit more prevalent. It's great they pulled out the blue and green gear in general. That should not be in these top few tiers right here. It's great to not even see it here. This, I feel like, is better than this, for example. These, there's no place to farm these. At least, up here, you have only 2 of these. I'd much rather have the stun gun. So tier 5 and tier 4, you got the biggest change, and that's great, because this is definitely a lot more exclusive. Way up here. Then the lower tiers, it's better. You got 5 post shards there, 5 post shards there, and 5 post shards there. That's great. 15 shards of po. That's great. All the lower tiers got massive changes. And where it's getting 15 post shards, which is a hard node farm, that's great. So in some regards, rewards improve, but as I said, I think the total reward pool and the quality of the pool, and especially those top tier ones, those got changed. So I want to know what your guys' thoughts are down below. Are you happy with the changes of the rewards? Again, the 3 main problems that I personally had, if we can't improve the actual game mode itself, it was the timing, which the timing is a wee bit better. 3 days instead of 7 days. I'm hoping they go for 2 days. That's what I'm hoping for. The gear gate, it's gone, but it's still there arbitrarily. The best rewards are still going to be attached to having the full faction of the day, so it's not as blatant that they're gear gating, and there still is some degree of it, which is better than before. At least you have a chance to try to use your lower gear resistance, for example, to get past it. And at least they spread out the rewards a bit more, but it seems like they kind of shaved a little bit off the top. So rewards, I think there still can be some debate there, especially since we went from 14 Chirotech to with the 18 or 14, I forgot what I said, 18 to 14 to about 8 Chirotech, a bit of a diminishing there. And of course, we saw a change in the gear 12 finisher pieces, not nearly as much as for in crystals, stayed the same. So, but what would I actually, my biggest complaint was, I just find it difficult that they've been talking about this game mode for a year. We're just gonna, let's just hop. I don't know if we're gonna win here. I just want some background stuff to do right now. One of my biggest complaints is, there's definitely a group of people that enjoy this, and I don't want to take that away from it. If you're enjoying this, more power to you. I'm glad you're enjoying it. For me, there's a couple things I look for. One, is it a rewarding experience? Is the rewards good? And I think for the lower tiers, it's definitely gonna be a bit more valuable, especially if it's gonna happen hopefully maybe every 2 days. I think that's a major improvement right there. But the other thing is it engaging enough? I just don't understand why this is a 3-day thing as now. Again, this could just be exhibition, and maybe we're waiting for something, for the next iteration of Galactic challenges to come through, which makes sense to have this for 3 days. So far, they said this is supposed to be daily replayable content. And I'll be honest, when I first started playing, when they took it away because the month ended, I forgot about it. It was not meaningful. It was not anything that I remembered. So what I would kind of like is either somehow they improve this game mode, build upon it, or give me a reason that I'd want to play this for 3 days in a row. Or I know they don't want to do sandbox mode, but what would be cool is, let's say you complete a tier 1, you unlock a tier 1 sandbox mode, or a tier 1 you disable the bonuses, for example. Because the one problem I have is that when I'm playing a game mode, like one reason I love Grand Arena, Squadron, and Territory Wars and Territory Battles is because I'm really learning my characters, I'm testing out my roster, and it's practical and applicable to outside that game mode. Here, I'm not learning much about any of these characters. And that's my biggest problem there. So it would be cool if, let's say you complete tier 7, a tier 7 sandbox mode unlocks, which either one allows you to disable the bonuses, because the bonuses make it hard to test, because obviously those bonuses don't exist outside the game. Or maybe two, instead of disabling the bonuses, they just let you place tier 7 teams that you can practice up against. I think that like something if that's, oh wow, Grievous survived the sudden whirlwind. Like here's the other thing too. Like normally a normal Grievous, they would have died right there. It's not extremely practical. Man, I'm actually surprised. Maybe we weren't paying attention to the gameplay as much, but man, even if you did win here, the bonuses mess up your testing. These characters are obviously juiced up Relic 7 or Relic 5 Separatist teams that aren't going to be applicable to it. Like, let's say if you beat this, well, it's not applicable to what's going on out there. And if you don't beat it, well, you probably could have beat this. Ray beats Grievous, as we know. So there's a couple of problems that I have with it. I just don't think this was better to do over a raid, at least right now. I'm anxious to see what the next step of Galactic challenges is going to be, but I just don't think this was better than implementing a raid, for example. At least a raid, it's got that initial hype, excitement. You're reliving a story of Star Wars, for example. The Sith Trumpet raid, I'll be honest, I never played KOTOR before, but it was so cool reliving another new Star Wars experience, seeing all these characters come to life, fighting these bosses. I don't think Capital Games hit the mark that this was the game mode they have and to develop over the past year, over a Death Star raid, over some sort, heck, I would have even taken an Exegol raid or something like that. If they want to stick to the sequel stuff right there, or a sandbox mode. I think, again, if they would let you just, you know, after you complete all the tiers or something, you unlock a secret sandbox mode or disable the rewards for testing and disable the hyper boosted stats. I think that could definitely change things up. You keep your Galactic challenges and you just unlock a sandbox mode of some sort. But I think a raid is what we need now more than ever, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like if you did enjoy the video, comment down below on your thoughts. Are these 3 changes to timing, the gating, and the rewards better for you, or are you a bit more upset than I am that they definitely mixed up the rewards? And hope you guys didn't notice. Thank you so much. As always, be sure to subscribe so you're not missing a thing on the channel. And as Gary always loves to remind me before I go to sleep at night with my Gucci velvet sweater, it's great to be in the Empire today. He whispers that right in my ear. All right, roll out the outro, somebody.